for another game that has some pretty big implications here. We've got our final game of the week. It is Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucs. They'll be heading into Dallas to take on the Dallas Cowboys. This game
Woohoo.
does carry some implications here. It's a fun game, right? Because the Buccaneers are getting hot, but so are the Dallas Cowboys.
Well,
They've
does it
won the
have to
last
be on
couple.
prime time though,
I
dude?
wish
Like,
it
come
wasn't.
on, man.
I wish this
Come
was a
on.
noon game,
I
but you're
know.
never going to flex
Is
out the
this the
Dallas
Sunday
Cowboys.
night
This is a
game?
Sunday night
This is
football game.
Sunday night football, bro.
Really, really bad
Two
choice.
weeks
They
in a
did
row, we get
flex.
the shitty fucking Cowboys
They
on prime
did flex
time.
week 17 Sunday night, so that'll be a lot better game that's coming
Woohoo.
on week 17. But in week 16, Cowboys, Bucks in Dallas. Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks have really started to fire up and hit some momentum here. This is not the same team that we saw after they lost Chris Godwin for the season. When they had Chris Godwin, they beat the Eagles and they beat the Lions at the beginning of the season. We thought these guys were going to be absolute world beaters and nobody was going to beat them. They hit the speed bump. Mike Evans goes out, Chris Godwin goes out in the same game. Godwin is out obviously for the whole season, and they just do not look very good. They start to get it together. Jalen McMillan is coming up. Bucky's been very prominent out of the backfield. The Bucs are starting to gain some momentum, and then they blow out. They put a 40 bomb up on the Chargers, who we thought had a fantastic defense, and Baker Mayfield is out there slinging the rock like he's prime Dan Marino, like just looking solid. No,
I didn't say anything.
yeah,
I
don't
No,
give me
oh,
those
I mean,
dumb faces there, Sean.
bro, Baker's put up. Let me help you out here, Ty Bob. Baker's put up 40, 30, 51, 30 again in a loss, 33 and 37.
He's out there slinging the rock.
And again, he put up 30 in a loss to the Falcons in overtime on Thursday night. Don't forget that, okay? Oh, he
But
put
on the
up
other
31
hand,
against the Ravens in that loss as well, too.
yeah,
Don't forget that one too. So he's been putting up fucking numbers. It doesn't matter who's catching the ball, really.
it hasn't entirely been the offense's fault. Like I said, they did take a little dip with Godwin being out, but the defense is finally starting to step up for them. They're starting to get a pass rush in, pressure the quarterbacks that they're going against, playing some really good football overall. But the Cowboys, who we know have not been that good, they're not eliminated from the playoffs just yet. They could continue to carry on, and if some things break their way, maybe they get in. Most likely they don't. But this is still some contract years for some guys that are on that team. You got CeeDee Lamb, who just got paid, that wants to show that, hey, you need to keep me. You don't need to keep Dak. It doesn't matter what quarterback you give me. I can put up numbers
Mhm.
regardless of who is out there. And they still have some decisions to make. Do you keep Mike McCarthy? We probably all agree that they definitely should not keep Mike
He's
McCarthy,
fighting for
but
his job right now,
he's
man.
fighting for
He's
his
fighting his
job,
ass off.
and he's actually done a pretty good job the last couple of weeks. Cooper Rush is going to be fighting to stay in the league. So there are some implications outside of just seeding and where players will fall, or where teams will fall in the playoffs. But the Cowboys, there's a lot of guys on that team who are still going to be fighting for a job at the end of this season going into next year. And that's where the implications come. They've been playing a lot of good football the last couple of weeks. And so I don't expect this to be um, I don't expect it to be like an absolute bad game that everybody may be thinking. I think the Cowboys are going to put up a little bit of fight here, and it might be nice to see CeeDee Lamb continue to carry momentum that he's had in the last couple games with scoring some touchdowns, because he had a good stretch there where he wasn't scoring for like 2 months.
So the point you made about guys in contract years, it's very prevalent on the Cowboys. I
Mm.
caught I caught a clip of a couple national guys talking about the situation that the Cowboys are in, and Rico Dowdle. It
Oh yeah,
is he a good running back? Like, do the Cowboys start thinking about whether or not they pay him a little bit of money to keep him around? Like, there's guys in that Cowboys offense and defense that are looking to make plays to make money, whether it be with the Cowboys or elsewhere.
yep.
Like, they're using this time productively, and it's ending up with the Cowboys kind of making like a little late push here when the beginning or midway through the season it looked hopeless.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. Well, I
100%.
bet Jerry probably kicked a few doors in, right? He was like, "God damn it,
Put some
we're gonna
curtains up.
we got a fucking stretch of primetime football games, and we ain't ready to play in. We got to get fucking ready." He probably chewed some people
Jerry
out. But
did not kick a door down. That man, if he tried to kick a door down, he'd break every single bone in his body.
sorry.
Have
He
hip
had
replacement.
he had his bodyguard kick a fucking door down, and he like walked in, with a walker. He came in. Are we ready to play in fucking prime time this week or not? He is probably what he's asking. And and then he's probably like, well, we're playing in prime time, so fucking get ready for it. He's probably like, oh yeah. He's I mean, prime time bump.
I can't
Prime
imagine
time
that
bump.
Jerry Jones is that effective at getting players that motivated. I think they probably pull from elsewhere, like
Oh
trying to
no,
make
I'm not
money.
saying it's working for
You
the
know,
players. Don't yeah, that's just who he is though as an owner. He's probably doing that as an owner. It's not working. They'd be winning if it
not
was
much
working.
of what he has done as an owner or GM has worked in his tenure.
so the main
Wait.
storyline from this Bucks team that I want to highlight is the emergence of their young stars. Bucky Irving has been involved fairly early on for this Bucks
Dog.
offense, but Jalen McMillan has really emerged, and it's mm, it's because of the absence of Chris Godwin. Like, I don't like to see players get hurt, don't want to see season-ending injuries. But without the injury to Chris Godwin, you probably don't see the effectiveness and the emergence of Jalen McMillan.
And the pieces that are still going to be there because Chris Godwin, this was the last year on his contract, so
Right.
it kind of a blessing in disguise.
It's certainly allowed for the emergence of, let's say, future stars on this Bucks offense. Um, with how effective Bucky Irving has been, who knows how long they decide to keep on to Rashad White. Um, he's he's a nice piece to have, but Bucky Irving has been the more dynamic player for sure coming out of that backfield. So young stars on the Bucks team kind of give them hope because they're hanging on to Baker for a couple of years now because he got a contract, right? So
Hey, White has scored 2 weeks in a row though. He scored 2 weeks in a
that's
row.
what I'm
He's
saying.
good.
He's a nice piece to have. Like
Mhm.
he's a consistent back.
Well, he
But I
was
don't
their
think
starter.
like
Bucky took his fucking job.
Yeah,
yeah
Rashad White would be a starter on most teams.
yeah.
Definitely the
Don't get that
Raiders.
twisted. He's just
Yeah,
not as
absolutely.
explosive as Bucky Irving. He's just got that big playability.
Also, you
And
gotta
I
watch your tone about Jerry Jones, man. Take it easy.
No,
He's a
yeah,
three-time Super
absolutely
Bowl
not.
champ.
How long
He's now
ago?
a
very certain.
hologram.
He's also a national champ at Arkansas, 1964. Played with Jimmy Johnson.
Congrats.
Watch yourself.